What's up guys, Syiler here, and we're back on the 5.3 PTR taking a look at the Eye, also known as Tempest Keep. Now don't worry, we're not doing another Ashes of a Lie guide, but instead they've added some new pets and things like that to some old school raids. So the first one we're going to take a look at is in Neverstorm. It's Tempest Keep. It's the large floating like platform which is the Eye. And they've also added pets to Serpent Shrine Cavern and also Karazhan. If you collect them all, you'll get an achievement and also an additional pet. So the first pet you can get from here is the Lesser Void Caller, and that drops from High Astromancer Solarium, which is considered to be sort of the third boss of the instance. So I'm just showing you this brief summary first of all, just in case you already know the instance very well, you know what the mechanics and things like that are, just so you can see which boss drops which pet, so you can head towards that boss and kill them and get the pets and things that you need. So, as I said, Lesser Void Walker will have a chance of dropping from the High Astromancer Solarium. The second pet up is the Phoenix Hawk Hatchling. And this actually comes from Allah. You would have thought it would have come from like KT or something, but no, it actually comes from Allah, which is the first or second boss, depending on what your raid was actually progressing on the time. But yeah, would be the first or second kill target for your raid. And it'll be the first boss you'll actually come across in the instance. So, once again, killing him will give you a chance of getting the Phoenix Hawk Hatchling. And then the final pet you'll be able to get from here is the Pocket Reaver, and that comes from Loot Reaver, Void Reaver, which is the second kill target usually, or the first, for a raid. And yeah, so if you know where you're going in the raid, you know what you're doing, now you know which bosses drop the pets from the Eye, you can go ahead and get started. If you're a bit unsure, you've never done the Eye before, then what I'm going to do is run through the whole instance, the bosses that drop pets at least, and basically just give you a brief summary of what's going on at each point. So as soon as you enter the instance, you'll have this sort of pathway full of mobs. You can pull quite a lot of these, they don't really do anything too threatening. Pull quite a few and DPS them down. Now you should be able to do this instance, this raid, no problem, from between 85 to 90. I was soloing it at 85, so at 90 you should have no issues whatsoever. Once you come into the main room, this is where you'll find Allah, the first boss, so it doesn't take very long, it'll take about 15 minutes to clear this. Head up to the stairs onto the platform, and aggro Allah with a ranged ability. Anything, it doesn't really matter, it'll move into melee range anyway. And then you can start DPSing it. If you do take too long, Allah will move to the next platform, and then after an X amount of time it will move to the third platform, and yeah, you want it dead by that point. But most DPS will be able to kill it on the first or second. Once that happens, it'll despawn, and then it'll respawn in the middle of the platform. Now the trash isn't too much of a threat in this room, you can pretty much ignore it, as you see I do. None of it will really aggro onto you. And then just DPS Allah down. Now if you do take too long, Allah will fly into the air, will summon ads that need to be killed, things like that, but nothing you really need to worry about. And we were lucky enough to get the first pet, which was the Phoenix Hawk Hatchling. And you'd expect it to be more like what Allah looks like, just a mini version, but one of them already exists. So they had to get a bit creative and make one of the trash mobs, which is the Phoenix Hawks, instead. So we're going to head up the stairs and go through the first door, which is the left door. We're going to head down, don't turn right here, just carry on straight down, and we'll get into Void Reaver's room. Now this was kind of like a joke boss at the time, and people considered it to be Loot Reaver. It was a very easy sort of achievable boss by raids, just because it didn't really require much from the raid. It was rinse and repeat, had no phase 2, so yeah. So I pulled the whole room, just because I feel confident with all the mechanics and things like that on this fight. The mobs will stun you and put a rend on you, but apart from that they don't really deal too much damage to a level 90. If you are a bit unconfident in your gear or something along those lines, clear out the trash first of all, and then you can pull the boss nice and safely. Now, Void Reaver doesn't really do too much. It'll do a knockback, it does a pummel, which will hit you a little bit hard, and also summon arcane orbs, which will move from the boss outwards. If you get hit by it, it will do a bit of damage and silence you. As you see, it's constantly silencing me because I'm in melee range, so it's kind of hard for me to avoid them. But as a range, he is going to come into melee range of you, which might make this a bit of a problem for you to DPS this down. So I'd recommend picking up any mobility talents just to kind of get as far away as possible for the majority of the fight, and then DPS him down on the move, things like that, and try and avoid the arcane orbs if possible. But he doesn't really deal that much damage, and as you see, I do that mainly through just auto attacks and abilities that I can cast while not silenced. So there we go, that's the second boss killed. And now we're going to head back out into Alara's room. You can go through, you can turn left here and go through KT's room and then back down, but it will mean facing a lot more trash. But if you plan on clearing the whole raid anyway, if you kill Kel'Thas, you'll get a chance on Alara, so Ashes of Alara, which is the mount. So it's definitely worth clearing the whole raid if you don't have Ashes of Alara. But for the sake of the video, we are going to skip that and just make this a quick run just for the pets. So if you do collect all the pets, I believe there's 10 total, 3 from this raid, 3 from SSC, and 4 from Karazhan. You'll unlock Tito, which is the reference to the mob from the Opera event in Karazhan, the Wizard of Oz one, and that's her like little companion. And that's what we'll get. From the 5.1 achievement, I feel that was a little bit better. We did get the Mr. Bigglesworth, but I'll take it. It's another pet to get, and it gives me a reason to go back and do these old raids and fight these bosses that I'd usually ignore. So that's always cool. I like having reasons to do stuff. So I run straight in, I go ham, I pull everything, which isn't the best of plans because I forgot these mobs actually mind control you. So you don't really need to kill the Blood Warders if you feel confident in your gear, but make sure you kill the Nether Scryers that are running around the room, and they're the ones that actually mind control you, so get all of them cleared off first. And once they're all killed, you'll be able to pull the boss without being mind controlled. And you know, if you're mind controlled, you can't really do anything. It'll just constantly keep resetting. So make sure you do clear them out first. So with those scryers out the way, we can pull the boss, and it's a very simple fight. If you do take too long to DPS it down to 20%, it will go into phase 2, which she'll disappear for like 10 seconds. Summon some ads that you'll kill, and then reappear. And then once you get her down to 20%, it's literally just kill. Turn into a Void Walker, and you just literally kill it. It's nothing you need to really worry about there. And these pets run about a 10% drop chance, so you won't get one every single time, but after a few runs you should have all the pets. And you can also cage these up and sell them on the auction house, or buy them if you want to do that for the achievement. So definitely worthwhile doing, especially at the beginning of the patch, just to get some extra gold in, or get your achievement done. So thanks for watching, guys. Look out for more guides coming soon. See ya!